Ghislain recognized his cousin at once, recalling their long-standing bond as both rivals and friends. As Cain descended the tavern stairs, Ghislain quietly asked Ricardo what had happened. Ricardo explained that he and Scovin had come to investigate reports of a disturbance. Upon arrival, they encountered Cain and his escort knight. Recognizing them, Cain immediately began questioning the rumors he had heard about Ghislain. Scovin had tried to explain the situation, but Cain cut him off by seizing his jaw. Wearing a cruel grin, Cain accused him of lying to the heir of Loges County, then proceeded to assault him. Afterward, Cain turned to Ricardo and demanded a proper retelling of the events. Ricardo explained that the rumors claimed Ghislain, despite having no training, had defeated an orc with his bare hands and taken down a group of traitorous knights on his own. Cain scoffed at the story, mocking its absurdity, and claimed he was merely giving the commander a harsh lesson to set things straight. He then turned his focus to Ghislain, accusing him of being the cause of the mess. With a sneer, Cain declared none of this would have happened if Ghislain hadn't been dishonest. At that moment, Ghislain remembered how Cain had always treated him, as someone beneath him. Every time Cain visited Perdium, he caused chaos, but no one dared challenge him due to his noble status. Cain's arrogance and self-assuredness were often praised as marks of a worthy heir, while Ghislain's self-doubt and perceived weakness drew criticism. Yet, surprisingly, Ghislain smiled at the memory. Cain was taken aback. He hadn't expected that reaction. In the past, Ghislain would have immediately lashed out after such an insult. Flashback to a few hours earlier in Loges County. The spy had approached Cain with a proposal to kill Ghislain. Though initially shocked, Cain listened as the spy promised that the esteemed one would support his family if he succeeded. Cain remarked that defeating Ghislain wouldn't be hard, but killing the heir of a county was no simple task. He questioned how it could be done without causing a political scandal. The spy explained they could arrange a duel and make Ghislain's death seem like a tragic accident, just a minor dispute between noble heirs. Disguised as an escort knight, the spy promised to handle everything flawlessly. With a sly grin, he reminded Cain that chances like this didn't come often, even for someone of his stature. Cain, smiling broadly, expressed disbelief that he was actually being given the opportunity to kill his own cousin. Eager and energized, he urged the spy to come with him at once. At that moment, Cain briefly wondered why the secretive organization was so intent on eliminating Ghislain. Something about his cousin felt different, and that change intrigued him. Still smiling, Cain turned to Ghislain and asked why he was just standing there. Reclining casually on the stairs, he demanded that Ghislain bring whatever he had prepared for him. Confused, Ghislain asked what he meant. Cain clarified that, after hearing about the festival being cut short, he thought they should stir up some excitement and enjoy themselves. He reminded Ghislain how well they used to work together on such escapades and, with a dark grin, challenged him to deny it. Unfazed by Cain's menacing tone, Ghislain took a moment to think, and then it clicked. Cain was referring to the drinking and women Ghislain used to arrange for him during previous visits. Back then, Ghislain had gone along with it just to avoid being beaten by his stronger, more aggressive cousin. Those indulgences had drained Ghislain's funds, and now he finally understood Belinda's earlier reminder that his father had cut him off because of his excessive spending. As the memories came flooding back, Ghislain smiled, realizing he might have just found a way out of his current financial crisis. Snapping back to the moment as Cain called to him again, Ghislain assured him that he would provide what was needed. But with a cold gleam in his eye, he warned Cain that there was a debt to be settled first. Watching from the sidelines, the spy was caught off guard by the sudden change in Ghislain's attitude. Cain, puzzled, asked what Ghislain was talking about. With a calm smile, Ghislain explained that all the lavish entertainment Cain had enjoyed in the past had been funded from his own wallet, and now he wanted repayment, a full 1,000 gold. Cain, surprised, argued that the total couldn't have been more than 100 gold. He brushed it off, claiming the money had simply been a token of appreciation for their friendship. Ghislain scoffed, calling Cain a fool, and pointed out how he'd always been treated like a doormat. Smirking, he warned Cain to pay up or face the consequences. The tavern went quiet as everyone stared at Ghislain, shocked by his audacity. Cain let out a sigh, got to his feet, and accused Ghislain of acting out just because he had always gone easy on him. He dismissed the idea that Ghislain had grown stronger, accusing him of fabricating stories about defeating knights. He called Ghislain a parasite who lived off others and claimed everyone in the north saw him as a disgrace. After delivering the insult, Cain clenched his fist, and told Ghislain to come to his senses, then suddenly lunged at him. Ghislain effortlessly dodged the punch, leaving both Cain and the spectators, including Ricardo and the spy, visibly stunned. Growing more irritated, Cain threw another punch, this time targeting Ghislain's head. Ghislain ducked low and countered with a quick jab to Cain's ribs, causing him to stumble back in pain, shocked by the strength behind the hit. Ghislain then aimed a punch at Cain's head, which Cain managed to block, only to collapse to his knees, crying out in agony. The spy rushed to his side in concern, asking if he was okay. Unfazed, Ghislain looked down at Cain and coldly told him to stop whining, reminding him that he had managed to block the attack. The spy quickly stepped in, ordering Ghislain to back away from Cain. The tavern went silent, everyone stunned to see Cain, usually seen as unbeatable, brought down by Ghislain. Assessing the situation, Ghislain realized what Cain was really up to. In a low voice, Cain asked the spy if his performance had been convincing. The spy, grinning, said it was flawless and noted that everything was now in place to frame Ghislain as the aggressor. Eager to leave an impact, Cain pulled a blue glove from his pocket, raised it, and loudly accused Ghislain of dishonoring the nobility by attacking without cause. But before he could finish, Ghislain threw his own glove at him, interrupting his speech and issuing a formal duel challenge. Cain stood in brief disbelief. Ghislain calmly stated that Cain had insulted him as a noble heir and assaulted his knight, both offenses against noble dignity. He asked Cain directly if he intended to deny it. Cain quickly recovered, smirking. He had always thought Ghislain was an idiot, but hadn't expected him to be foolish enough to walk straight into his trap. Drawing his sword, Cain accepted the duel, warning that Ghislain would regret it, even if it meant death. Ghislain then called out to Ricardo, who answered immediately. Ghislain ordered him to bring in the merchants protesting outside. Ricardo was surprised and hesitated, but Ghislain, smiling with a glint of madness in his eyes, confidently told him that they were about to help those merchants make a lot of money.